Did you hear the big news? Cody Sanchez is at it again. She is making big moves. She just bought an equity position, ownership stake in Resi Brand, which is essentially a franchise conglomerate. As I understand it today, it is made up of three different and distinct brands. It would not shock me if that grew exponentially with her influence and following. I thought we'd have a conversation with the one and only Bo Eckstein because he is the small business concierge lender, and I'm sure he has an opinion. So, Bo, Cody is making moves. What do you think?
Yeah, I work with Resi Brands, so I had gotten an email the day before from the franchise development person at Resi Brands, and he said, "Hey, there's a big announcement tomorrow," and I didn't
Pay
know what it
attention.
was.
Right.
And and then sure enough, I'm on LinkedIn and I see Cody's announcement, and I was like, God darn, this is such a smart move on her behalf
Yeah.
because look, she's already got millions of eyeballs on her, and so now she bought into one of the fastest, actually the fastest growing residential painting franchise system. I work with Resi Brands; they're awesome, and they're really kind of leading the way. They have two other franchises underneath their umbrella, and they're gonna stack, I think. So there's a lot of big franchise development organizations, for example, like Neighborly Brands. They have Neighborly Brands does billions in revenue. They have, I don't know, thousands of franchisees within their 30 different franchises systems, all in the home service business model.
Mm-hmm.
And then that we work with another one, same thing. They're these conglomerates. Many of them are owned by private equity, and so Resi Brands was started by a painter who grew this whole business, and so it was amazing to see. So there's going to be a lot more. Everybody wants to do a business acquisition. The fact of the matter, everybody wants to be a flipper. Everybody wants to be a wholesaler. The fact of the matter is, it takes skills and a lot of grit to actually find those deals. Same thing within business acquisition. I mean, it's hard to find these deals. You're going to go look on Biz Buy Sell, and you're never going to find a deal. That's where most deals go to die.
It's like LoopNet, where deals go to die.
Right. So, I mean, it's just an amazing positioning to see what she did, because I think this is one thing is now people are going to open their mind to franchises. Like everybody that was talking about boring businesses, well, I could go with, easily into a painting franchise. For example,
Right.
give or take, they're all an investment for one territory for a painting franchise with franchise fees and everything is give or take 120 grand. So what does that mean? That means you can go get SBA financing and you put down 12, 13 grand and you build in working capital. You're off to the races, right?
Right.
So franchising makes sense. And that's what I've been preaching. And obviously Cody feels the same way.
Yeah, I think Cody is I don't think the average person understands how smart she is. I think she is playing chess where everybody else is playing checkers. Um, I think her mind works at just a different speed than most folks. And some of that I'm sure is because of a Wall Street background, but I think a lot of it is just the grit and you know, she's going to make it happen. So when I think about Resi Brands, I know Resi Brands is going to blow up. Not only are they going to sell more franchises because Cody's there, it would not shock me if in 12 months, Resi Brand goes from, let me see if I got this right, painting, garage, is it windows is the third one?
Window cleaning. Yep.
Yeah. So window cleaning. So just off the top of my head, they could easily do roofing, plumbing, electrical, pools. I mean, Resi Brands with Cody's pixie dust, energy, magic presence. It the owner of Resi Brands, I'm sure, sold it for a pretty penny, that ownership interest, but he's going to get it back in spades. Cody's going to take this thing to another level and at another rate. Not that this individual couldn't have gotten there eventually, but Cody's going to shorten that thing by half, 75%. It's going to be fun to watch Resi Brands go after the big boys.
Well, I think that's part of it too. If people understand the power of creating content, like now Cody's going to create stories about owning painting companies, and that's going to like intrigue you're never going to get better eyeballs on you than creating content. That's like a given. So I think old school doesn't quite get that, or they don't know how to do it.
Right.
So I think, these brands that understand, hey, how do we get in front of more people? And that's exactly what she's phenomenal at doing. And obviously by her YouTube views and every stage you see her face that she's going to be a speaker, right? There's a reason for that. She's done an amazing job. And so like, I always take like little micro nuggets, like what can I do? What is she doing? What can we do in our business to kind of replicate the strategic chess move she does?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a genius. I think following as closely behind her is a smart move, right? You've got to do some interpretation because she's not giving you the whole playbook, but I think the crumbs are there. So following her and she spoke at Think Media's Grow with Video conference about, I guess, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I was front row. She was all of that and more. She just came off of, I mean, she flew in for the event. So shout out her for doing all the effort. I think the day before she was on the East Coast at Pace Morby's event. So she's getting around, but she's an inspiration. And I think, I think what she's done, just getting people like me, right? I'm an employee. That's where I'm comfortable. Getting me to think about buying a business as a way to diversify, right? Because again, a lot of employees, their only source of income is a job. That's pretty risky because we will have recessions, right? We will have multiple recessions in the next several decades. So having another, service-based business, really recession resilient, if not resistant, is a good idea. Because, yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens. I think she did a great job of getting everybody to think about buying boring businesses, talking about baby boomers retiring 10,000 a week or whatever it was a month. But now she's like, you know what? Let's go franchise. Let's go to a ready-based model, SOPs, price points probably well defined, and let's just do that. So I think it's a great move.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll blow up for them, and it was very strategic. And I'm always impressed. I watch other people, right? That's how I learn. I go, okay, what are these people doing? And that was like one of the best moves I've seen in a long time. And I know that's going to pay huge dividends, right? Because at some point that their conglomerate that they're building is going to be worth a ton of capital, right? Because there's always money. And so it'll be interesting to see, 3-5 years from now, if they're holding it or if it becomes a private.
Yeah, I think she's going to do a roll up. Again, I don't know her, never spoke with her. I guess I said hi one time, but yeah, I think she'll do a roll up. I think there will be an exit, call it 5 to 7 years from now, and it's going to be massive. That's my guess.
It's very impressive. One of the takeaways that I had when I had my conference or my summit this weekend, and I brought that CPA back, Michael Reeder is his name, and it's really like so many people just are like when they hear him talking, and I'm asking questions about like the advantages of business ownership. And guys, you can find something very semi-absentee that you're not like, in the business, in the trenches. And I think that's what you have to look for. There's something for everybody. I was looking at a business model the other day. I'm not a golfer, but they do golf simulators, right? And so this business model, you need virtually no employees because you get a retail space. There's 4 bays and each golf simulators in there, right? And then it's membership based. It's like $200 a month or give or take. So you get a certain amount of members, right? You know what your fixed costs are, and you build the base, and hopefully before you open the doors, you already have your break even, and then you just grow it. And you don't need any employees there because the members just use like an app to open the door, and then they have a tea time. So it's like there's something for everybody. You don't need much manpower to run that type of business. Vending's very similar. So I'm actually compiling and researching right now the best semi-absentee business models because it's important. Because
I love that.
Yeah, every day I get people that they don't want to leave their W-2, and I don't blame them. They're doing very well there. They want to own a business. They want to own more real estate, and they're like kind of tapped right now because you got to save up the down payment.
You know what I want to do? I want to challenge you to think about it this way. Every week for the next 4 to 6 weeks, because you and I talk every Wednesday, 10:30. I want to talk about one semi-absentee business. Maybe next week is like, let's go deep on golf simulators. The week after, we can go deep on vending. Let's make that the topic, because you're right. I think a lot of my audience, W2, want to diversify, kind of got the bug, see it as a possibility. So let's serve the audience with what they need. What do you think?
I absolutely love that idea. I'll create a little PowerPoint. We'll share a screen. This is why I like this business. This is how it's going to operate. Because
Boom.
a lot of people, a lot of people talk about semi-absentee, but when you really understand the business model, you're like, this is not semi-absentee, because there's too many moving parts to be semi-absentee.
I
So,
love it. I love that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
perfect.
Well, Bo, you're amazing. If somebody want to reach out to you and get ahead of the game and talk about something, where do we send them?
Just go to onerentalmeeting.com and book a call.
OneRentalMeeting.com, folks. He got a URL just for this amazing community. OneRentalMeeting.com. Go there, get your 15 minutes. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.